out of love for Crocodile Hunter, I thought you were gonna go Stingray, and you're just gonna choke it out, baby.
Yeah.
Get your revenge.
I don't even want it as a pet.
Shout out early on in the year, you took one to the house in Miami, and I think I said Devin Hester-esque, like in the house of one of the greatest college returners of all time.
Elephant in the room. This is definitely the game that nobody gives a shit about.
Whoa!
Wow, dude.
Throw 120. I want to see you guys hit balls 700 feet. Just level the playing field. If everybody's doing it,
Been to Lane Stadium for a nighttime game. Gobble gobble, bitches.
Fitzmagic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
10 seconds.
Well, good evening. We're all here to absolute packed boozers tonight. We've got Parker, we've got Fitz, who's had 3 beers. He's a bit feisty tonight. We've got Tim, and we've got Jake Ray herself. Tonight we're talking about MLB, NHL, college hoops, a bit of NBA, and a little bit of NFL, and as always, football. Anyway, let's get into it.
Hey, I love it. Little feisty Fitz. I can't wait for this. You get some good energy here.
I did say you needed more energy for your intro. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find it tonight.
Let's do it. Hey, speaking of energy, a lot of negative energy being poured out into MLB today. It kind of popped off. And Jay Gray, I know you did a little research here, and we're going to try to get Dowdy on maybe next week, fingers crossed here, to get a little inside look. But you go ahead, break it down. This lockout, Field of Dreams going up in smoke.
Yeah, so just a little tiny bit of research. Hopefully Jeremy's able to come on in the next few weeks and give us a little bit more insight to what exactly is going on, especially from a player's point of view. From what I can see is later on in the winter, the players were requesting a few things from ownership that they weren't getting. Player objectives included promoting competition, take that as you may. Fair compensation for younger players was a huge thing, and integrity of the market system. So ensuring that the guys that are down in the AAA, AA feeder farm systems are getting things like housing, fair pay, subsistence, and money to just live off on outside the season. So they went into negotiations. Those were shut down. And according to the players, management did not reach out for 63 days. When they did reach out, it was 16 hours of bargaining between Monday and Tuesday today, and nothing was approved. The players unanimously voted down whatever the ownership brought, and vice versa. This caused essentially Manfred to go in and cancel the first 2 series of the upcoming season, which is the first week of baseball games. So there's a lot of back and forth going. There are a lot of players saying, hey, we got to get rid of Manfred. Like, he's not promoting any of the players' needs. It's not the guys who are making $100+ million a year asking for anything. It's these people who are making this money advocating for those who are not, and increasing luxury tax and salary tax or salary caps in order to cater to the younger players. So a lot of people are calling, or a lot of players are calling for Manfred to include, I believe, one of Dowdy's really close friends, Marcus Stroman. So it'd be really interesting to hear if Dowdy's been able to connect with him, and just to get his insight in a few weeks, hopefully, on how all this is playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And it kind of reminds me of what we talked about with Dowdy was, the minor leagues. These guys get treated like shit just day in and day out. And it's always the guys who are making the money looking out for the little guys. And it feels like as a commissioner, you look out for everybody in your league to make everybody happy because not everybody makes that money. It's a wild time. And I know Cincinnati is bummed because we haven't had a proper opening day since 2019. And we still don't get one. And I know there's a lot of organizations and teams just like, well, there goes opening day. That's a holiday. That's a vacation for most kids. Like, hey, I'm not going to school today. I'm going to open day with pops or mom or whoever. You hate to see it. You really do, because it seemed like MLB was making a lot of traction, especially during the pandemic, because it's about the only sport. It was the first sport really back and coming back in full swing. And now a lot of negative publicity. Yeah. Thanks, Jay Gray. Any other thoughts about MLB and the lockout? Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
I have a question for the pub. What do we think promoting competition within the game of baseball means? What do you think the players are asking for there?
How many games are in a regular season? Like 160?
160, 170?
I mean, I guess when do things get spicy? Like halfway in the season? Like I guess I'm just wondering, is that necessary? Like that many games? Like could you get that done in like, I don't know, 100, like 120? Like why so many? I don't know. I guess that would be my take, is like trim down the fat of the season and make it so it's not so, I don't know. It feels like the pace is just off, especially, early to halfway, and then things pick up and you're like, all right, like we're getting towards the playoffs, and it's like, this is so unnecessary. Which is why I don't get it.
Well, I feel like it's like, it's not football where I feel like the wear and tear of baseball, they could play year round if they wanted to. Like if they really wanted to, they could just go from, November to October and just not have an off time. So it's just like ticket sales and stuff. But yeah, I don't know how you get a bigger draw. It kind of makes me think of your rant, Tim, of like just how they are. It's just all these old heads, like, like the Tatista home run celebrations. No, we're gonna snub that. We're not gonna have any fun. And it just seems like, and this may even be a hot take, but I think golf is like doing the opposite, where golf used to be like kind of this boring sport. Is golf is now like, oh, you know what? Throw your beer on the grass when there's a hole in one. And like let the crowd roar, and like we're gonna have fun. Oh, let's hype up this drama between DeChambeau and Koepka. Like let's have some heat. And like baseball's just lacking that because they're just self-damaging themselves. They're just not like, and I don't know how to explain it, but they're not making it fun. As simple as that.
Hashtag we need more juice.
Need more juice
in more ways than one.
I guess kind of piggybacking off you of like, so you think of the NBA and like with Stern, how he really made a push for the individual player. And then you think of like the Shield, the NFL, and like, it's all about the team. Like what's MLB? Like what's like, keep the old ways so we don't lose our heritage? Like what is happening here? Like,
I mean, I think it does play a lot on that historical background, but you do bring up a really good point. It's still the question mark. I mean, MLB is America's pastime, so they don't want to lose too much of their tradition, but they can't just sit in the past and stay in the past forever because they're getting left behind.
Yeah. And like, do they look to like what the Premier League and La Liga has done, and just like, because that is the world's pastime is footy, it's soccer, and they've adapted and grown as society's grown and adapted. Like maybe a good page to steal from them. I don't really know. Maybe footy's just
similar.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Well, fingers crossed for opening day a little bit later on. But hopefully we still get a season. I'm sure we will. That's billions and billions of dollars that people would lose out on. That you got to have a season, right? All right. Before we move on, Matt, you just got a free shout out here from the wife. You should do all intros to the show. Well, going from baseball, let's talk about the other big, and this is more worldly news, and it's a little bit deeper than what we typically talk about here, but the situation with Ukraine and Russia has really blown its way through the sports world, and we're starting to see the ripple effects and the effects of it. And Matt, I know you really want to talk about this a little bit here. The sports world is kind of standing with Ukraine. I think we've seen this route with Russia being booted from a lot of competitions. What have you seen, especially over in England?
Yeah, nearly all sport has stood with Ukraine, apart from Formula One, where a lot of the sport, you say FIFA have banned Russia from the World Cup, and all all Russian teams in UEFA tournaments like the Champions League. Formula One is cancelled the Russian Grand Prix, but it's allowing Nikita Mazepin to race. He drives for a team called Haas, which used to look, their car literally looks like a Russian flag last year. So they've had to change that car quite a bit. Roman Abramovich, the Chelsea owner, has had to leave the UK. Well, supposedly he's not been in the UK since 2018. And he's left the ownership of the club to the charitable sources of Chelsea. I have no idea what that means. But my belief would say that he hasn't really been organising Chelsea for years, because actually there's so many people at the club that make the hirings for the manager and who buys the players. There's been so much stuff. So much has been cancelled. It's been quite incredible to see. A team in Germany called FC Schalke, who are in serious financial trouble, have been sponsored by the Russian gas company Gazprom for like literally decades. Even though they're in financial trouble, they like cancelled the sponsorship instantly. So it's quite empowering to see. Yeah,
it's one thing to make a stand, with a statement, or maybe you put a flag on your jersey or something, but for you to cut financial aid, especially when you need it, that's a huge like FU to Russia. That's huge. Wow.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the UK men's basketball, because the UK government denied the Belarusian players who they were playing a visa to play the UK in the UK. So the UK go through to the next round. What a big brain move that is.
Hey, a win to win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is wild. I was reading today that Taekwondo, like the National Federation of Taekwondo, removed Putin's black belt. They said no, you no longer are a member of Taekwondo. And
that's unbelievable.
Wild. It's crazy. And on the flip side, I guess the negative side of this is Russian NHL players are getting a lot of death threats and like a lot of harassment on the ice, which that's not real cool to do, right? It's not their decision. They're here to play hockey, and most of them live over here pretty much full time anyway. So it's kind of a dick move by other NHL players. But that's the only negative I've seen from this. Everybody else is pretty unified with Ukraine there. It's pretty special. Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, the other big one I saw today was the figure skating committee has kicked out Russia, which is very significant on the women's side. Because did y'all watch that women's figure skating? That coach chewing out homegirl when she came off the ice, y'all. It should have been banned just for that, but took a little bit more. So that's really, really big in international sports news, because figure skating is something that Russia usually dominates in. I also saw, and I'm sure y'all have seen it too, the Russian tennis player in Dubai, after he won his match, he wrote on the camera, "No war, please." So hopefully, that message has gone viral everywhere I've seen it. I don't know about other places, but I do have a colleague who I work with at school who's actually Ukrainian. He's lived here. He came to UNCC for college and is a teacher now. So we've all been wearing little yellow and blue pins. So keep him in your thoughts. His family is still over in the Ukraine. So, well, not the Ukraine. He gets angry when I say that. Lives over in Ukraine. So keep him in your thoughts.
Hey, absolutely. P's and T's to his family, man. Wow.
Just one quick comment. I can't imagine like spending all this time training for these events, and you may not agree with the political views, but like being taken out of like the World Cup or like all these things. Like how infuriating would that be if someone was like, "Oh, actually, based on what your country's doing, you can't compete in this organization any longer." Yeah. Like as an athlete, and I can't even put myself in the shoes because that would be so terrible.
Yeah, because there's probably a good chance those athletes disagree with what their
Yeah.
government's doing. It's kind of unfair. That's a good point. Like, we didn't do this shit. Like, it's not on us. But at the same time, you've got to hit Russia where it hurts, and that's their pride. They have a lot of pride in sports, a lot of pride in winning medals and stuff. And so when you take that away from them, it kind of makes them reevaluate. Oh, damn, Tim. I didn't even think about like the flip side of it. Man.
Yeah.
Listeners, watchers, let us know your thoughts on it. And if there's no other thoughts, we're going to move on, talk a little more American sports here and bring some more good vibes to the world here as best we can. Let's stay with the ice, though. NHL roundup. And, well, I messed up on that graphic there. Let me move him. All right. It's been awesome to see this. The NHL has been picking up. Popularity has been picking up. And the NHL is actually – they're going to make some changes with broadcasting. And we haven't seen change like this since they had the glow-in-the-dark laser puck going on TV back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're going to give us analytics on faceoffs, like probability who's going to win faceoffs and everything like that, which is kind of weird to think about. You would think with as much analytics as the NBA, NFL has gotten over the years, I think the NHL will be right there with them. But no, this is the first time they're like, hey, the Avalanche have an 80% chance to win this faceoff when, Rivers in the facing off there. It feels, whoa, this is taking too long, but I'm here for it. I think it's going to make broadcasting, watching games that much more entertaining. And for us, betting on these games might help us a little bit more.
This is the exact reciprocal of the MLB. Like NHL, they're going out of their comfort zone. Like they're stepping and trying to figure out all these ways to change the game. And the MLB's just sitting there. Like, come on. Just do something.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head for us. Absolutely. Let's talk about standings real quick. You got the Avalanche leading the league. That's why they're on the screen. You got the Canes right behind them, 4 points back. Panthers, Lightning. I mean, just that the East is where the hockey's at right now, especially in the Southern East. It's kind of weird to think about because we think of hockey being up north, but they're putting on right now. Obviously, the Avalanche out west, though. But there's some great hockey being played. Things are heating up, and I'm excited to see who's going to make a push here. And with that being said, anybody want to make an early Stanley Cup prediction here? I know, I'm putting us on the spot.
We're going for a bold one. We are the people. Rangers.
Rangers, huh?
Rangers, that's it. We are the people refers to Glasgow Rangers, but we could ignore that.
Florida Panthers. Just because.
I'm just on the train of the Field versus Tampa Bay. No, not again. Please, someone stop them.
Will it be a three-peat if they win?
It will be. Yeah.
See, that's too hard. I don't think. I think they could make a push, but that's just.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about hockey, but everything about sports tells me that you have to be really good to win 3 in a row.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump on the Preds bandwagon. I want to see it happen. They are a feisty team. They seem like they're always in it. Brian's brother and sister-in-law live in Nashville and send me Snapchats from every single game they go to, and it just looks like a rager. So I'm gonna cheer with them for the Preds and the Bees, but the Preds.
I'm a big fan of the atmosphere that the Preds got going on right now. Smashville is where it's at. Tim, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, be on the lookout for the Minnesota Wild. I think they're looking pretty good, too. Of course, my pick's the Hurricanes, but coming out the West, I think the Wild and the Blues both, I don't know, they've been impressive with their scoring ability this year so far.
You son of a gun. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, absolutely. My pick's the Canes, but the Wild, that's a dark horse. That's one that I think they're sitting at plus 2,200 to win Stanley Cup. Might be worth throwing a little extra money on if you got to spend.
Again, I know nothing about hockey, but I know Minnesota sports sucks. They always find a way to blow it.
Wow, dude.
Well, hey, that's our Stanley Cup prediction. I'm excited to see the changes the NHL is going to make here. And MLB, you heard Doctor. Get your shit together. Let's go. Not surprise. This Saturday in college hoops was wild. And we this close to making money on it. This close. Because we Jay Gray, we thought about you last week. We said Michigan State's going to get the upset. Then Fitz says, you know what? Arkansas is going to get the upset over the Wildcats. Seemed pretty good. The hockey picks let us down. But that's all right. We're bouncing back this week. But, I mean, just tons and tons of upsets here. Let's just talk about it. I mean, 1 through 6 in the rankings goes down. Number 23, St. Mary's beats number 1, Zags. And that's one, I think me and Fitz both said, St. Mary's, thanks for showing up, but I don't think you're going to win this one. It's at home. You'll keep it close. Maybe you cover the spread. Not so fast they win. Colorado beats number 2, Arizona. Shocker.
By 16.
Like, just dog walked them through the puck. Number 17, Tennessee takes on number 3, Auburn. Smack Apparel on Instagram, they said, hey, that's the upset to watch right there because Auburn overhyped, overrated. They were right. Michigan State, number 4, Purdue. Love to see it. Number 10, Baylor. Number 6, Kansas. Not really. It's a borderline upset. Baylor's been really damn good. Kansas has been up and down a little bit. Jagger, I know you hate to hear that one. And then
Baylor are the reigning champs.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. And number 18, Arkansas Downs. Number 6, UK. Just tons and tons of upset. I don't remember a Black Saturday like this at all. What about you guys? What do you say?
Especially this close to March Madness. Like, because usually like this happens like early in the season when it's like, oh, Duke's number 1 and they really should be like number 13 or something. But like to have it this close, number 1 through 6, it's just interesting because it shuffles everything. You know, all these teams fighting for a 1 seed or a 2 seed. Now everything's shuffled. And it's just the question of who is going to be the 1 seed, which is so huge come March Madness. So yeah, like this, the timing of it is what makes it even crazier.
No, you're absolutely right because conference tournaments are kicking off today. Like some of the lower conferences, it's wild. And, you know, come this weekend come next Tuesday, you get the Power 5 conferences kicking off a conference tournament. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I actually stayed up surprisingly because I go to bed very early, but I stayed up for the St. Mary's Gonzaga game. Y'all, that game was awesome. Like I turned it on and I was like, I'm just going to fall asleep to this. And I couldn't fall asleep because it was just the way St. Mary's, like you could tell that they played like they had nothing to lose. And they did. Like, I mean, and truthfully they don't. And it was awesome to see that kind of environment with the students bought in, the players bought in, the parents, everyone bought in. And the scary thing about that, though, is Gonzaga left. And when they left that arena, you could still tell that, like, this was probably what Gonzaga needed to wake them up. So I would still very much so watch out for Gonzaga. I think this is a wake-up call for them, and they're going to be extremely dangerous come March, no matter what seed they are.
See, I think they're the most overrated team. Like Gonzaga, the fact that they kept the number 1 seed because they lost to Duke. Like, who have they played? That's the question. Is like, so they lost to Duke by 3. They lost to Alabama by like double digits. It was either like 10 or 9 points. And then their strength of schedule isn't that good. Like what I saw in that St. Mary's was they were just aggressive with the big freshman hype from Gonzaga. Chet, I can't remember. Skinny, scrawny little big guy. He's like 7 feet. Sucks.
You can push him around.
Completely ass. And like they would just like every time he'd go for a spin move, they poke it free because that's his go-to is the spin, and he's just this long freshman, and they just poke it free, and they just had a ton of points off turnovers, and I'm just sitting here like, why are they still the number 1? So I don't know. I think Gonzaga could be a recipe for that's an early out in the tourney, just based on how their season's going.
Damn, I've never felt more like a sports commentator right now, but I can see it going both ways here. Either Zaga's going to make a run or they just fold. Like, I'm riding the fence on that one because Jay Gray, you're right. This is motivation. Hey, we just lost to our little brothers, the Fighting Gales out there. What are we talking about? lose
Love
to
it.
those suckers. But at the same time, overhyped. You are right, Fitz. So good point.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, out of the teams that lost, like Kentucky losing to Arkansas, they lose by 2 to Arkansas. I think both of those teams are pretty solid. Like Arkansas and Kentucky could both make it to the Final Four. You know, I look at Auburn, like they're getting a lot of flack, but I think they're still a number one. I think they're solid. I think the SEC is just really that deep this year. Like Gonzaga, who have they played? Arizona, you lose a 16 to Colorado, like get out of here. So I don't get, like, some of the rankings, don't understand, but that also that's something to keep in mind with, you know, with when you're making your brackets in a few weeks, is like it could be a Final Four where it's like, you know, maybe one number 1 seed and then like a 6 seed, a 4 seed, an 11 seed. Like that's the beauty of March Madness.
My hope for the conference tournaments coming up here in the next few weeks is I just hope the SEC beats each other up so much that they can't do anything once it gets to the tournament. I really hope so. And the ACC will come, and the Big Ten will come in and be like, bam, 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 beating up teams that are already beat up from their own conference tournament. And I think that's something that you could see happen as well.
No, the ACC is not showing up for this tournament. I will go ahead and call that. The ACC, they're all going to be out of it by like the round of 32. They're all going down. Duke included. They're all going
All right,
down.
Evan. Okay. Hear me out. I'll throw $20 on it.
Oh.
ACC team makes the round of 32.
Makes the round of
One
32.
ACC team.
What about Sweet 16?
I'll take one ACC team in the Sweet 16.
I will put $20 on that. I don't think an ACC team makes the Sweet 16. I'll put money on that.
I'm
Shake.
shaking.
Yeah,
Call the
virtual
Lords,
shake.
it's right here. All right.
Virtual shake. It's happening. 20 big ones.
ACC.
Wow.
ACC.
3 to 4 beers on Duke not making the Sweet 16 or just any ACC.
It's Coach K's last season.
It's his last dance.
Yeah, he's done.
Matt, any thoughts on these upsets here?
Well, I really have no interest in college basketball, which is a great thing to say straight away. Until March Madness. So until then, I'm going to kick off. But to be fair, I know Zaga. Didn't they go undefeated last season in regular season? I'm right in thinking that.
Yeah.
So that's a legit big old shock. I literally never heard of St. Mary's. Never heard of them. But yeah, fair. Fair enough. Well played.
Hey,
like
Matt,
a
it's
true
March.
pro.
Get ready.
Yeah, no, I did. Well, yeah, exactly. I've got to buy a VPN so I can watch it all.
That's right. Well, this Saturday's games. Got a lot of good games. It's the last day of regular season. Or sorry, Sunday's the actual last day, but this is the last big day. You got number 11 Nova traveling to Butler. Butler's a tough place to play. Yes, they're having a little bit of a down couple years here, but it's still a Butler program that's rich in tradition. Number 14 Arkansas traveling. Number 13 Tennessee. Both teams coming off huge upsets. What's going to happen there? Fighting for battling in the SEC tournament. Number 21 Texas at number 6 Kansas. UNC traveling number 4 Duke. Indiana at number 8 Purdue. And Seton Hall versus Creighton. Just love a good old-fashioned Big East matchup. Hopefully we'll get some bows thrown in the paint there. But any of these games we're really locked in on. Any game we're like, hey, circle that one. We might put some money on it, pub parlay, or stay away from it.
Well, I think with Arkansas and Tennessee, both of those teams could climb into the top 10. And the tough thing is they got to play each other. So someone's going to move up, someone's going to move down, and then you got to get through the SEC. But I think truly both of those teams are like top 10 teams. And again, all 6 teams lose, 1 through 6 lose, and they don't move them anywhere. They're like, oh, you're still the number 6. Like, get out of here. So I think Arkansas and Tennessee should be higher than they are. Villanova right now, they're battling Providence, number 9. And Providence was down big early, but they've bounced back. First time they played, Villanova really made a statement at home. So curious to see if Providence wins. That makes that interesting. But Nova's another team that can make a run. They're not getting a lot of love, but that's a team with experience. They've been there before. Great coach. That's a heavy sleeper as we get into just keep an eye on them in like the Big East tournament. As far as those other games, I'd be surprised if Duke, Kansas, Purdue. I don't think they're losing.
Yeah, but Duke, UNC, obviously kind of a Duke fan here. It seems like the away teams always had the little advantage this past couple of years. So maybe upset alert, Coach K, last home game. Nah, it's Coach K's last home game. Come on. They ain't losing.
I will say UNC started to pull it together. It's kind of a
Didn't
classic.
they lose last night?
Well, they beat NC State. There is kind of a classic Carolina that they looked like they weren't going to make the tournament. They've strung together some wins. I think they've only lost 9 at this point. So like they should make like either like an 8 or a 9 seed. So I don't know. So we'll see. That's the one thing about Jay Gray, that bet of the ACC, is I could see North Carolina like spoiling. Like if they drew number 1 Gonzaga in the round of 32, I think they could spoil. And like that, I don't feel good about that.
So double or nothing. Every ACC makes it to the Sweet 16.
Whoa. Really? You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'd double down. All right, I'm writing it. I got my sticky note. I'm pulling a NBA on TNT. I got my sticky note bets.
I'm cool with that. And by me giving you $40, I mean Brian's going to be giving you $40.
Okay, betting Brian's money. That's perfect.
That's what I do.
I just want listeners and watchers to realize, Fitz, you could hear him backpedaling a mile away, like, hold on, UNC might actually do this, and Jay Gray doubling down, coming after his ass. I love it.
I mean, that's easy money. Yeah.
Hey, Clemson's going to get into the tournament, and they're going to ruin all of this for me. So don't worry about it.
We're just hoping to get an NIT, right, Jay? Not invited tournament.
They'll still lose in the first round of the NIT with a home game. I'm done.
Okay. All right.
Big App State girl.
Take the stairs. Let's go.
Go State.
Go State.
App State.
Well, let's stay on the hardwood here. Let's move up the league, though. NBA roundup. And teams that are usually on top, not so fast, especially in the East. The Heat is leading the way alongside the Bulls, which beginning of the season, you probably would have head scratched like they might be a bubble team. They might try to make it. No, they're 1-2 right now. Bucks trailing them. The Cavaliers are in there. It's a little head scratch in the East. In the West, it's kind of more predominantly what we're used to, minus the Lakers. You got Suns at 1, Warriors at 2, and the Grizzlies at 3, Jazz at 4. I mean, the West is stacked, but that's no news to any of us. The West has always been where the NBA is at for the last 10, 12 years, it seems like. Any of the stuff that really shocks you? I know for me, the East, literally 1 through 5 was like, did I read this right? Am I making this graphic right? What do you guys say?
I'm curious, who are the MVP front runners at this point in the season?
Luka.
I'm just curious.
Luka, yep.
I feel like Ja's up there.
Oh, dude, he just dropped a 52-point game. Ja Morant from the Grizzlies is that dude.
Okay. I would guess Jokic is still, he was MVP last year. I would guess he's still in the conversation.
Joel Embiid from the Philly.
Okay.
Having kind of a quiet season from media standpoints, but he's been producing night in, night out. DeRozan from Chicago.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
I feel like DeRozan was up there too, but
yeah.
That's interesting.
Embiid, your front runner, Jokic number 2, and the Greek freak is number 3. Rosen at 4.
I feel like the East is just kind of like what you said, Parker. We're kind of shaking it up a little bit to see kind of where things settle. We know the West is like the whole conference is pretty dang stout, but I like seeing some of these names on the East because I feel like the media, especially like ESPN, will hype up. I feel like lately it's always been the Nets and the Philly with the big trade. But last I checked on your list there, they weren't on the top 5. So, I don't know. I think the East is still has a little bit of figuring out to do, but the West, man, West is just a beast. The whole conference.
Can I just make one correction before Amy comes running after y'all with her batteries? It's the Sixers, not the Philly. It's the Sixers. She's going to start throwing batteries through the screen at you guys.
Oh, gosh.
Tim, what are you doing, Tim?
Sixers. Oh,
You
I'm
said
sorry.
it too, Parker?
No, Amy, I did not. Not today, Mama.
Whoa,
Gray.
it was Parker, not me. Run it back. Run the
Amy's
tape
coming
back.
for y'all.
Oh, did y'all see DeAndre Jordan got cut from the Lakers after that atrocious pass?
What did I say in the group? What did I say? The LeBron's
called
cut
it,
all
Eddie.
their asses. The Lakers are just the Lake Show turned to the shit show real quick, and you know how I feel about LeBron though.
Well, it's funny because I remember when Russ got traded and we were talking about, oh, this is another super team. And I can't remember who said it. It's like, this isn't going to work out. But like, it was one of those. It's like, is this going to be the team that no one can stop? Or is this going to be an absolute shit show? And it's absolute shit show. So, it's just crazy.
Too many. LeBron's already planning his next escape out. Like, hey, whoever drafts my son, I'm coming there. Like,
They're talking about trading him.
yeah. Wild times. Just saying, MJ was never talked about getting traded. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
That's all I'm saying. All right. Moving from there, let's talk a little NFL for us. Nope. Anyways, we're moving on.
Money in the bank.
That's right. Speaking of money in the bank, NFL free agent quarterbacks. The quarterback market just seems so dry right now. Even looking at the draft, yeah, you got Pickens from Pitt, but people are talking about his small hands. Don't give me that shit. He played in Pittsburgh. It's cold. It's windy. It's windy. His small hands can hold and rip that ball with anybody there. Yeah, his baby Whopper Jr. hands, you know. But no, don't give me that. Hand size don't matter as long as you can grip it and rip it. You got Matt Carroll from Ole Miss, but that's really about the big names coming through this draft, it seems like. Free agents, I don't know. I want your all's opinion here. So, top free agent quarterbacks. Obviously, you got famous Jameis leading the way, but he's coming off the ACL injury. You got two-glove Teddy. You've got the flying Hawaiian Marcus Mariota. Cam Newton, undecided if he's unretired or if he's going to retire or come back. Maybe the Panthers still want to deal with him or get another chance with him. Andy Dalton, free agent. Fitzmagic, a free agent. Once again, he could join Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, and retire. And then Jacoby Brissett and Project Mitch Trubisky. This is my top free agent quarterbacks that could be up for grabs. If you're a team needing a quarterback, if you're a team that you had a question mark at quarterback all season long, are you going to take a chance on any of these people?
Where is Jimmy Garoppolo? Did he sign with someone?
He's not a free agent. They're just talking about trading him.
Okay.
He is having surgery like tomorrow.
Yeah. And he'll be good to throw by July, I think. So right at that training
They
camp.
said this summer.
Man, that's a good point. I don't like any of those guys. I mean, Jameis is probably number one, which is crazy. It's like Jameis, like even pre-ACL, I'm like, do I really want Jameis like leading my team?
Yo, he had a better QBR than Josh Allen before he got his ACL torn. I'm telling you, he was on the comeback year that no one was ready for but me.
Yeah,
I'm
well, that
for
didn't
it.
happen. So
Watch him go back to Tampa.
Well, I think of this list, the one that I could see Tampa going after would be Jacoby Brissett because he has played in a Tom Brady system.
that is true. Yeah. It's not like he was bad anywhere he's been. He just never really got a fair shot, I don't think, with anybody.
And I mean, Tampa, you would still have those receivers down there. You still have Fournette, who signed a new deal. Like, you have weapons, so it's not going to be completely all on you. I could see Brissett going there. I could see them trying maybe to get Mitchell. I think maybe the additional weapons could take some pressure off Mitch Trubisky. Think about when he was in Chicago.
Yeah. Under Matt Nagy at that.
And he would have a better offensive line because they got all those big offensive linemen to protect Brady. I think if Mitchell gets a shot, I'd love to see him get a shot in Tampa.
I feel like Mitch just sucked. He had Allen Robinson in Chicago. Like, how many times I saw Robinson wide open and Mitch just missed him? Like, not because of O-line, just Mitch.
I don't think he's good enough to start anywhere, but I think it would be interesting. He's still young. You could see him learn.
I mean, he's the youngest. He's the youngest guy on that list.
That's true, but that's not saying much. I'm just saying, like
27. He's not that young.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. I think with Tampa, I'm curious about Kyle Trask. Like, I think I would take a chance, and that's how I feel about, like, with this list, is like I would take a chance on Kyle Trask versus taking a chance on any of those free agents.
Maybe bring in Brissett to back him up.
Yeah, you could sign any of those as a backup. I think that's fair. Like, you could sign any of those, but you're giving it to the young guy. It's almost like a Joe Flacco backing up Zach Wilson. It's like, yeah, we're going to ride Wilson, and it's nice to have a veteran presence backup and, you know, having the clipboard and stuff. But, your time's passed. Like, that's how I feel about this list. It's like they're all done.
I think you add any of these guys to the quarterback room, that quarterback room automatically increases there. Like, the depth of the quarterback room. I think all these guys could add something to any team. But Marcus Mariota, to me, that's a guy who I think he kind of earned another shot. Like, Derek Carr tore his groin off the bone pretty much. Marcus Mariota comes in there and the Raiders don't miss a beat, and they had all that drama going on, flying away and still slicing up defenses with his feet, with his arm. I would like to see him get another chance. I know Nashville and him and Vrabel never really hit it off. I'd like to see Mariota get a second chance, but all these guys have question marks with their past or injury history. It's just, I don't know if it's worth it.
Or both if you're Jameis.
Yeah.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. Jameis to the Denver Broncos.
Ooh.
Think about him and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Think about
Ooh, see, Tim, I'm with you on that. Like, Jameis, he's the one that I'm, like, curious about.
You put him in a state with cannabis legal?
that.
All right.
You're getting all sorts of W's.
Jameis didn't deserve that shot. I apologize to his family. Well, let's talk about the two old heads real quick, or three old heads. Cam, Andy Dalton, Fitzmagic. Retire, or do we think they're going to add another jersey collection to their journeyman?
I think Fitz will.
Yeah.
Damn right.
100%.
Yeah. Hottest athlete in September.
And he's the only one I'd like to see add another jersey to their collection, to be honest.
I can agree with you.
Yeah. Fitzmagic is the new Josh McCown.
Yeah,
like, he'll play forever.
Hey, one hell of a coach McCown is too. Teams winning state championships left and right down in Texas. All right. Well, with that being said, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's go ahead and hop into our spud to stud, stud to spud. Anybody got somebody come to mind? I had to put John Moran on there, dropping 52 points the other night, making it look easy. He was our stud of the week, I think, but he was no spud beforehand.
I can't pronounce his second name, but Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga. Yeah. So in the League Cup final this weekend, it was 0-0 between Chelsea and Liverpool. 5 minutes before the end of extra time, literally 2 minutes even, Thomas Tuchel takes off Mendy, the goalkeeper who's playing, and puts on Kepa, who is a penalty specialist goalkeeper. Liverpool proceed to win the penalty shootout by scoring 11 times, scoring every time, and then it comes down to Kepa. It's sudden death and penalties. He's got to score, otherwise Liverpool win. And he takes his penalty, and it blazes over the bar so high he could be playing for the Packers as a kicker next year. It was ridiculous. Like, he put his foot down and launched it, and the ball went flying over the bar. Big old spud. Didn't even get close to saving any of the penalties, and when it came to him to score, he absolutely buffed it.
Yeah, rightfully so, from across the pond, spud. I've got to pick an easy one here. Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champion of the world. just booked for attempted murder Monday night. Apparently, he shot a guy twice, if not 3 times. What are you doing, dude? You're a millionaire. You've got all this money. You could be an ambassador to UFC and to the world there. Nah, you're going to let the heat get you and try to shoot somebody. That's just crazy. Stud to spud, Cain Velasquez.
Was he in, where was it? Vegas?
Yep.
Was he really in Vegas?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. Santa Clara. Sorry.
Oh.
I was gonna say, get out of Vegas.
My apologies.
Why do they let athletes go to Vegas? Okay. My stud to spud. Okay, so my stud to spud is going to be Netflix in general. No, spud to stud, because they have put out a phenomenal docuseries on Bubba Wallace. It's called Race, and it talks about him. Have you watched it, Matt? It talks about
Totally
him,
halfway through it.
yeah, as a African American driver, only African American driver in NASCAR. His background story: he's a local guy. He's from Concord, North Carolina. So watch that. Netflix is also my stud because Drive to Survive comes back next week, season 4. If you haven't gotten to watch it yet, please do. It's going to be phenomenal. And they're bringing a PGA similar thing that they have the Drive to Survive upcoming. Get ready for it. I'm so ready for it.
I'm enticed.
Netflix. Woo!
We kind of dunked on them already, but gosh, I gotta say the Lakers. They are. I mean, to get just drugged by the Pelicans at home, you got to be a pretty bad organization. I mean, something's happening, and Parker, you made a good point. I never thought about it before. You'd think the GOAT talk. Jordan never was on the trading block, really. I mean, that's a good point, and I don't like comparing them because it's 2 different games at this point. But I mean, that's pretty bad. So I'm not LeBron specifically is stud to spud, but the Lakers team and the organization itself, total spuds.
Tim, I never agree with you more.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever done this, but I might have to double down on Tim. I think that's my spud to stud as well.
The old
Or
double doink.
stud to spud. Just the fact that this was the team that everyone's head turned, like the Lakers are going to be so dominant, and they're struggling. It's just falling apart now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, you kind of preluded this during your spud to stud. Let's just talk about it. Your footy action, your footy corner here. Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah, so 0-0 tells you it's a boring game, but actually, it was actually one of the best 0-0s I've ever seen in my entire life. 4 disallowed goals for offside. One of them being literally offside by like half a knee. It was ridiculous. This is the first silverware in the domestic leagues in England. The League Cup final played at Wembley. Unbelievable game. So many great chances for Chelsea and Liverpool. Christian Pulisic should have scored 2 goals at least. Had an absolute sitter. The easiest chance ever in the 4th minute of the game. Liverpool scored in the 60th minute, or they thought they did. And then Chelsea thought they scored in the 80th. And then the 90th, well, they were both called off. And then they thought they had scored in the 110th, but that was also called off. So, boys, just stay on side. It's not that hard. The offside rule has been around for years, Just stay on side. As simple as that. But Liverpool won 11-10 on penalties. Some great penalties being taken, some not so great penalties being taken, but they're just lucky that the keeper's gone the other way. But yeah, Liverpool won the first trophy of the season. Kind of annoying because all their fans booed the English national anthem before the start of the game. So fuck you guys. But yeah, other than that, that's the first trophy done for the season.
Hey, I love it. I love it. And looking ahead for this weekend, you got one hell of a derby coming.
Yes, we do. We have a big old rivalry game. We've got United v City. Now tell me, City are top of the league and are flying. United are struggling. You know, there's a talk about United. They've got too many big names. You've got Ronaldo, you've got Rashford, you've got Pogba, you've got Varane. They're not gelling. They're not playing well as a team. Where City do have big names, but they're just playing well as a good side. This should be an absolute cracking game. It is at the Etihad, so it's at Man City. Man City should win. I think they will win. Ronaldo doesn't look half the player he was a couple of years ago. So there we go.
Do we think that's just a change of leagues, a change of team, him getting older?
I think it's a combination of all of them. You know, and there's also change of situations and the manager. You know, at Juventus and Real Madrid, the team was built around him. Where at Manchester United, he's just come into a team and they're not built around him.
Fair.
So,
yeah, very fair. Well, I'm excited for that. I've gotten really big into footy, especially putting a little money on him. I was a little disappointed, Matt. You know, we were texting during Monday or Friday's games, but that's all right. We bounced back. I'm excited for it. We're bounced back. One more international news that I meant to bring up with NFL talk, but let's just talk about it now. NFL's got 5 games going on international: Mexico, Germany, and England. And I know Matt's pumped. He finally gets to see the green and gold over there across the pond. So Green Bay, New Orleans, and Jacksonville, which I think we come to getting used to Jacksonville being in England there. They all get a game this coming season in England. Arizona gets to go to Mexico City, and Tampa Bay gets to go to Germany, which is pretty exciting. Really cool of the NFL to do this. Once again, Tim, MLB, take notes. This is how you grow your viewership to a worldwide level, and you make fans like Matt happy all across.
about time the Packers are coming to London. Honestly, the last team to come over here. You know, I'm so excited. Pretty sure I'll be able to get a ticket. You know, even though it'll be through the roof, I don't care. I'm going to see my Packers finally. God damn it.
Hey, you know why they can go to England? Because it's the first time they'll be shitty enough to play in England.
Oh,
yeah. Oh man, shots
got me big time.
Tell me when I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's cool as hell that they finally get to do it. And Tottenham came to Green Bay, 2019? Is that right? Tottenham played a game in Lambeau, which is, it's about time Green Bay's repaid the favor out over there, which is pretty cool. And my answer is being from Germany. I'm excited to see Germany get a little NFL action. I'm curious to see where they're going to play that game and how sold out it's going to be. If it's going to be sold out, I think that's really cool.
It'll be sold out.
Yeah, I think it's in Munich.
Yeah, it's in the Allianz Arena.
Yeah,
which is
and that stadium's awesome.
Stadium.
That's beautiful.
Amazing.
That's going to be really fun.
Awesome.
So
and Arizona going to Mexico City. That's how it should be. They played a preseason game there, I think, with the Oakland Raiders back in the day. And Mexico keeps growing its interest in the NFL. I think that's really dope.
How are those? The one head scratching thing is, so the Packers, the Saints, and the Jaguars are going to London. Are there more teams coming, or how are they going to play each other?
It's 3 teams. There's 3 end zones, and they're just going at it. It's like rugby style. Okay?
I think those are just the home teams for all the games.
Okay, and they'll decide their opponent. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Any team that got an extra 9th home game because of the added week of the season, they were put into a lottery to go international. So
okay,
pretty cool, pretty dope. Well, let's make some money this weekend. Pub parlay time. Let's make a bag. this weekend. Jay Gray, you already calling for Saturday. Start us off, girl.
I'm taking Charlotte Football Club in their first ever home match against the LA Galaxy. Matt gave me really great pointers on how to get pissed up before a soccer game. So I'm really excited.
Wait, what are the pointers?
He told me to take the train. So the light rail is like a 3-minute ride from the stadium from where I live. So I'm going to take Nips airplane bottles on the light rail because I don't have as much time as Matt does.
Is that it?
But I'll be there. I'm really excited. No, that's not all I'm going to do. No.
I want to know the
order to Valhalla, which is the Vikings bar, because they're all really nice. And I'm gonna drink.
So the only pointer Matt gave you was drink bottled
liquor
on the train.
Considering how many people the Raiders are keep driving into people when drunk, I don't think it's a bad tip. But
yeah, good call. Wow.
Charlotte, we're probably not going to hit this week because they're really not very good. But Charlotte.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but
I was going to take the Galaxy. I'm not going to lie.
Oh man. Change your pick. Mine's hitting. That's why I know mine's hitting.
Hey, it's gonna hit.
Everyone else, maybe I'll just surprise you.
They're gonna hit.
Okay.
Jay Gray sip of death.
You know what? Jay Gray I think she's got a higher batting average than all of us. So
I'm gonna be there. Football is life.
All right.
Damn right it is.
Cheer your ass off because they're gonna need some help.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give you actual proper chance, not just defense, but actually proper. Yeah, okay. I'll have to think of something for Charlotte.
I'm here for it.
What?
Some actual chance, some actual proper the referee's a wanker.
Oh yeah, can I say that?
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you can.
Okay.
I'll have to think of some more.
All right, I'm gonna lock in. I mean, Jay Gray's going big. This might have to be a crazy parlay that's not gonna hit, but I'm gonna take Florida over number 7 Kentucky. Number 1 through 6 all went down last week. I think Florida keeps the streak alive. It's at home.
This is in Florida.
At Florida. It's at Florida. Okay. They need to build their resume. Yeah, I don't know. It's a gut feeling. But I would take with if they're giving Kentucky 6 points, take the points. Okay. It's going to be close. I don't know if Florida can win, but if they're giving Kentucky 6 points, Florida they'll get it down to 3.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Calgary Flames over the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday.
That's a ballsy pick. The Flames have been trending up, but the Avalanche have been dominating.
Lock it in.
So you want straight money line. You don't want any points. You're just
straight up money line.
We're sending this parlay. Okay, full send.
Full send.
Okay, I'm gonna go for another American linked sort of kind of football thing. Jesse March has just been appointed the manager of Leeds United, American coach who's managed in Austria and Germany. I'm going to take Leeds United over Leicester City Saturday morning.
I like it. Leeds United just won today, correct?
Yep.
That's big. That's big. All right. We got hockey, college basketball, MLS Premier. I'm going the Octagon. We're hitting this. We're going big. George Masvidal. He's a plus 250 dog to Colby Covington. This is supposed to be one hell of a bloody match. Both guys, technicians. They've got a right hand to him, but I don't think this match is going to end early. I'm going to take George Masvidal plus 250. 4.5 rounds is the over-under. I'm taking the over here. I think this might go to decision. George Masvidal plus 250 over 4.5 rounds. Double dip. That's it for the parlay.
Pretty solid parlay. gang.
I feel good. Feel good, real good. Well, Jay Gray, you had a question of the week for us.
Yeah. So when Matt and I were talking about getting pissed right up, then we had to talk about how we cure our hangovers because we get hangovers really quickly now. So I want to know what everyone's hangover cure is. I usually go for Diet Coke. It cannot be Coke Zero. It has to be Diet Coke in the silver can. Can's better, but I will take it from a bottle. And I usually prefer Orbit Sweet Mint gum. But last time when I was drunk and hungover at the same time, there was no gum. So I had to suck on a candy cane because that's all I had. It still works.
Just keep a candy cane with you when you go to the game.
Brian keeps candy canes in his cabinet now.
Oh my gosh.
Brian's a hero.
It's a good
He
move.
is a hero.
For me, it's got to be any greasy egg sandwich. So like a biscuit from like McDonald's or Bojangles. It's got to have egg and bacon on it, and it's just got to be just sloppy. And that's the move. Cheers me right up.
Mine's a classic bacon sandwich. You just can't go wrong.
Is
You
it
put
just
egg on there
bacon and
too, or
toast?
just bacon?
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
thinking.
bacon sandwich. Just give me a bacon sandwich. That's all I need.
So we got bread, bacon, bread.
Boom. Ketchup. Bit of ketchup in the middle.
Ketchup.
Boom. Done.
Yo,
That's
y'all
all I
are
need.
wild.
Is this
all I
what you
need.
had last week when you just said, "Oh, I just had bread"?
Yeah, no. I just had bread. I had no food in the house, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked." It was
Damn
either
it,
that,
where's the bacon, Ma?
it was
the
either that,
meatloaf?
or it was either that or porridge, and I feel like porridge is probably the worst thing you could have.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be rough.
Let's see.
Man.
That's what I think about the mint too, Jay. I'm not gonna lie.
No, the mint works. It's a mind game.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of grind through the hangover. Like I feel like it's just like a nap. Like and usually it's like a nap with a headache. It's like, yo, I got a headache, but man, I'm gonna try to sleep this thing off.
Yeah, you
pop
just drive 4 hours.
maybe
to
pop an
Charleston.
Advil. Dude, how many times like this off the record, but on the record, how many times I've gone to church hungover? Like, it's absurd. It's an absurd amount.
That's the intro for next week, by the way. I'm kind of a baby back bitch when it comes to it. I've got to sleep and just like lay down and just feel sorry for myself. But if I have to get up and actually do something, I need a cherry Pedialyte and then some nacho cheese Doritos, and I'm good to go. But
No,
Good
yeah,
you lost me at the cherry Pedialyte. Ugh.
it's the best flavor. Give me the knockoff version too, the Food Line version. I don't want the real thing. No. Listeners, watchers, let us know your hangover cure. Maybe we'll steal it. We'll try some of these other ones. A bacon ketchup sandwich. I'm intrigued, Matt. I'm sold on it.
It's just simple. That's all you need. I can't believe the stick I'm getting for it, to be honest.
There's a proper thing over there. Just wild dust. All right, hey, that's gonna do it for the show. We're gonna catch you guys next week. Hopefully, maybe Jeremy Dowdy comes on. Maybe another special guest. Episode 100 coming up. 426. Watch the listeners. We're trying to get the McAfee boys on. Pat McAfee and the boys.
No.
We're trying to. So
Oh.
hit them up. Let them know you want to come on the pup. All right, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time. See ya.
Like
In a bit, go well.
for Crocodile Hunter. I thought you were gonna go Stingray, and you were just gonna
Oh no.
choke it out, baby. Get your revenge.
I don't even want it as a pet.
Shout out early on in the year. You took one to the house in Miami. And I think I said Devin Hester-esque, you know, like in the house of one of the greatest college returners of all time.
Elephant in the room. This is definitely the game that nobody gives a shit about.
Wow, dude.
Throw 120. I want to see you guys hit balls 700 feet. Just level the playing field. If everybody's doing it,
Been to Lane Stadium for a nighttime game? Gobble gobble, bitches.
This Magic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
10 seconds.
Gobble, gobble, bitches.